All right, well, I got to get some work done and get in here and be warm. Now that I've shut the generator off, I can make sure that it's on the enable setting here. So this Magnum Energy, it's a generator auto start switch, and this is the remote for it. So it's in enable right there. So I'm going to run a test on it. So if you take this and you put it into test, push test, let go, that light went green. That light went green. See if the generator kicks. Yep, generator's going. Lights are still green usually. Oh, there it goes right there. So there you go, energy's being provided by the generator. That test would run 30 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to enable. Now, when it's done, it'll kick off its 30-second run just to make sure everything's working. And then it should be sitting in standby status. Well, we've had a bit of a tragedy at the cabin. Something happened and I don't know what. The water is not on. So there's no water on, but somehow this faucet was dripping. The water's off. I can't turn water on anywhere. There's no water running anywhere. Somehow water was getting in here. So the valve must be partly open or something. I don't know. So all of this was wet. All the floor was wet. And you can see here, there's water there. Not good. So what I'm going to do, since it's all wet anyway, is I think I'm going to go ahead and release this guy. Those were already wet. Let's see if I can get the rest of the water out of here. Maybe I can get enough water out of it that I can put some of the RV antifreeze in it. The joys of an off-grid cabin. You leave it for a couple months. I almost dumped it down the sink, and I cannot dump that down the sink. These are soaked. They were underneath it. They were soaked. The floor was soaked. So I've got to dry it out. It got into the pine flooring here. Very unhappy. Everything got wet. So we'll put some antifreeze in here and see if that'll hold. And you can see it. It's obviously all the way down here. I had this happen 8 years ago when I was living out here full time. And it actually broke the main pipe going out to the gray water drain. So I've got a mess. I've got to clean that up. Clearly, water is all the way up to the P-trap, which means that RV pink antifreeze isn't going to do much good other than it'll be here. But if this doesn't drain before I leave, it'll freeze solid and break. There's nothing I can do about it now. And there's no water coming out of it. And those lines are open. So it's a really strange thing that was dripping. It's a concern. And perhaps because it got into the negatives, but it's currently 48 degrees with a high of 54, but it did get down to 31 degrees at the floor in there. That's unusual. So it was probably when it got into the negative numbers up here. I'm sure that's what happened. So anyway, I've got to do some cleanup. I got all my paneling in here, but I've got to worry about, I got to worry about that line right there. That thing's going to freeze. That drain is obviously frozen. It's not draining. And if it's not draining, that means there's water going under the cabin all the way to the gray water drain, and that's all frozen. So that's a major issue. So I'm going to have to do some cleanup, but I'll report more when I get this sorted out. Well, I put the snowshoes on and crunched my way here. At least now we can take a look at the roof and see that I've got quite a bit of snow up there that needs to come off. So I need to get those panels cleared off. Still lots melting off the roof, so things should start to slough as it gets warm today. It's warmed up a lot, and the snow is melting off the roof quite a lot. I've tried to remove some along this ridge here, but you know, it's so soft and melting so fast. It's just coming down like crazy. I need to put a gutter up here one of these days. I threw that up before the winter thinking it might help, but the snow comes out so far that it really doesn't. I need to build a little porch roof up over that there just to keep the stairs from getting completely covered in ice. The heater's actually working pretty good, and what I'm doing is I'm just taking some 1-inch foam insulation I have and wrapping it where the foam melted away, and I put some on the back side, and I'll put some plywood or something over that just to hold that into place. It's just a temporary fix to help put more heat into the porch. Hopefully when I'm gone there will be plenty of heat generated by it going into the porch. So we'll see how that works, but there's definitely heat coming out of it now. That'll be better than what I had. In the meantime, I'm really just puttering around, working on little minor projects and taking breaks and reading. And you know, sometimes that's the best part of being out here. I'm not in any big hurry. As you can see here, I went ahead and got all the ice off the stairs and got rid of a bunch of the snow around here. And of course I did this and a few other minor things. So one bit of good news is that the drain in the bathroom has completely drained out. So I think that it hadn't been dripping for long. I think that it froze up actually inside the cabin or just below before it could do any major damage. So I had poured some antifreeze in it last night, and now it's drained out. So that's a really good sign. I got about 3 or 4 gallons of water out of the sink and out of the pipe, and it's drained. I think it'll be okay for now, tacked on there. All right. Not too bad. So that door is a little bit lighter, so I'm not sure. Those don't really match, and I've got to decide what to do with that. I may have to restain the door. I think it looks kind of cool though. I think once I get the trim in, I've got to run 3 inches of trim up and around and down the other side. The trim will match what you see on the windows. So basically like that, and it'll match those going around there. But for now, that's going to have to do. You can also see a little water right here. That water's got to dry up now from the bathroom, but the sink is no longer wet. The drain has drained out, so I think we're looking good. But yeah, you can see the door is definitely lighter, but I do like the way that looks. One of the things you probably often don't see in cabin videos is the mess. So if you think that making cabins is nothing but all the fancy nice looking stuff you see on the internet, I got news for you. It can be a mess. So what I've done, I had done this paneling here, and I've been working my way up, insulating the wall here with a patchwork of R13 insulation in the porch here. And up at the top, I just need to run a 1-inch strip along the edge to match the roof line so that I have a nailer on the edge. And the next thing I did was I started fitting R10 pink insulation into the roof where I hadn't done before. I do have some things to do before I leave. I've got to check the water level in the batteries tomorrow, so I'll pull the battery box lid off and pop the caps and see where they're at. And I suspect they're going to be down. It's been a couple months. But anyway, folks, I'm gonna sit here and enjoy my drink, which is almost gone. I don't usually come up here without some adult beverages. I'm going to call it a night here before too long. It's 20 after 7, so I've got a few hours of reading to do, and then we'll hit the sack up in the loft. But again, if you have any questions, throw them down there in the comments, and I'm happy to try to answer those for you. And hopefully, if you're someone who's interested in building cabins, or if you just like to know about them, throw your comments in there, and I'm happy to answer them for you. I can tell you that this is just a really quiet, wonderful place to be. And if you don't have a cabin in the woods, rent one. Somebody might rent one for you. Or go out there and build one. It's a great experience. And if you do have a cabin out in the woods and you're watching this because you're sitting in your cabin and you've got internet, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you that have subscribed and liked these videos and continue to watch them. So thank you very much for that. Stick around, more to come. I certainly plan on sharing more with you. So, and my last thought is, if there's anything you'd like to see, something that you haven't really seen enough of, something you'd like to see, or if there's something you'd like to see more of, put it in the comments. Let me know. And I'd be happy to do that for you. Y'all have a great night. The old Jarhead out.